Once upon a time, far out in the endless expanse of the ocean, there was a city that danced on the waves. Its name was Ocalis, the floating city. This story has been passed down for generations. When the old fisherman told it to the children, their voices would echo with wonder. They would gather close, their eyes wide and sparkling like the stars above, as they heard tales of a magical city that existed beyond the horizon. There was no map that led to it, Grandpa would say, his voice like the rustling of ancient waves. No ship had ever passed it by, and yet it was there. A city not anchored to land nor claimed by any nation, floating above the sea like a secret whispered by the wind. The children would lean closer, their small hands gripping each other tightly as Grandpa painted a picture with his words. Its homes looked like seashells, and every window opened toward the wind, telling a new story to the sea each day. And then Grandpa would pause, letting the silence stretch like the vast ocean itself before dropping the most enchanting detail of all. In Ocalis, time wasn't measured in hours, but in the heartbeat of the blue core, a magical nucleus kept deep within the water palace at the city's heart. Every dawn, the core would throb with light, sending energy through the city, keeping it afloat, keeping it alive. As he spoke, the little ones could almost feel the warmth of the rising sun on their faces, smell the salty tang of the sea spray, and hear the gentle rocking of the city on the waves. It was a world where houses danced on the water, where time flowed at the rhythm of a magical heart, and where the sea was more than just water, it was a living, breathing entity. But like all stories, this too had a shadow. And yet one night, a wind unlike any other swept through the city. It wasn't cold nor warm. It was empty, like silence in motion. Grandpa's voice would turn serious, his eyes distant as if reliving the tale himself. That night, for the first time, the blue core failed to pulse, and the city awoke to a strange sound, the silence of the sea. Ocalis was never meant to stand still, and when the core stops, the city begins to sink. Mira was the daughter of a lost diver who vanished in the deep years ago while seeking the secret of the first stone, the origin of Ocalis. Even as a child, she felt the sea speaking to her. She understood the waves, the whispers of the tides, and the secrets the seagulls carried on their wings. When the elders gathered, their eyes fixed on the hollow, a swirling scar in the sea slowly pulling the city downward, Mira knew she had to do something. Despite every warning, despite the danger, she chose to dive. She donned a suit woven from coral thread and leapt from the city's edge, descending into the hollow. The deeper she went, the more the sea changed. It grew darker, quieter, almost watching her. The pressure threatened to crush her, the darkness to swallow her whole, but Mira pressed on. Then she saw it, a blue gate, slowly opening. It pulsed with a faint light beckoning her forward. With a deep breath, Mira swam through the gate and found herself in a realm that stole her breath away. Before her lay a mirror image of Ocalis, only this city was made of shadows, and it hung upside down beneath the surface. A ghost version of her city, silent and still, yet eerily familiar. As she ventured deeper into this spectral city, she saw her father, or at least the memory of him, surrounded by a soft blue light. He was at the heart of this shadowy Ocalis, holding the fractured pieces of the blue core. He spoke then, his voice blending with the lapping of water. The city floats because its people believe in freedom, but it will sink if they forget balance. Balance between rising and falling, between dream and truth. This is the first stone. It holds the balance. It is the heart of Ocalis. And you, Mira, are the only one who can restore it. He held out the core to her, his eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and hope. Mira reached out, the cool, smooth surface of the stone, sending a jolt of energy through her. At that moment, She understood the weight of her heritage, the legacy of the sea flowing through her veins. She took the core, its fractured pieces fitting perfectly in her palms. With newfound determination, she turned to face the watery depths once more. She had come to understand that her journey was not just about saving Ocalis. It was about balancing the dreams of her people with the realities of the sea, about finding the harmony between the city's desire to soar and its need to be grounded. Her path back was illuminated by the faint glow of the blue core. The water around her seemed to part, guiding her back to the surface. As she breached the surface, gasping for air, the sight that greeted her was both terrifying and exhilarating. The entire city of Ocalis was bathed in moonlight, its silhouette stark against the inky black sky. The absence of the core had plunged the city into an eerie calm. The gentle rocking of the waves had ceased, leaving Ocalis unnaturally still. The city was teetering, caught in a deathly embrace with the sea. Mira stumbled onto the shore, the blue core pulsing warmly in her hands. The sight of the struggling city spurred her into action. With a mix of fear and determination, she raced towards the water palace, its familiar shape looming like a beacon in the eerie moonlight. As she neared the palace, the core in her hands flared with renewed vigor. It was responding to her, guiding her towards its resting place. Inside the palace, the elders were gathered, their faces etched with worry as they watched the city struggle against the relentless pull of the sea. Mira, breathless but resolute, stepped forward. "I have the core," she announced, her voice ringing with newfound strength. The elders turned, their faces a mixture of disbelief and hope. As Mira approached, they saw the core's light grow brighter, steadier. It was a beacon in the gloom, promising a return of the lifeblood that sustained their city. Mira knelt before the pedestal where the core belonged. With trembling hands, she placed it gently inside, and then, as if awakened from a dream, the core surged with a brilliant pulse of light. The room was bathed in an ethereal glow. The rhythmic hum that had been absent for so long resonated through the chamber. It started slow, hesitant, like a heartbeat, feeling for a steady pace, then quickened, deepened, growing stronger with each passing moment. The palace trembled with the returning pulse. The rhythmic throbbing spread through the city, coursing through the very foundations of Ocalis. As the heart of the city awoke, Mira stood up, tears streaming down her face. She felt the connection, the bond between her, the city, and the sea. In that moment, she realized she wasn't just a keeper of the core, she was a keeper of the balance, ensuring that Ocalis would forever dance in harmony with the sea. With the restoration of the blue core, Ocalis began its slow rise, guided by Mira's steady touch. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, the city was lifted fully from the depths. It ascended like a wounded bird, spreading its stone wings to catch the wind, to rise once more on the waves. From that day forward, it is said, if you listen closely to the waves, you might hear the story of Ocalis, the city that floated because it remembered where it came from. And so, the legend of Ocalis continued, passed down through generations, a reminder of the delicate balance between dreams and reality, between the freedom of the spirit and the grounding of purpose.